In Maine, if the weather is somewhat cooperative, it's always a good time to get out on the water.
Time spent on the water means work for one longtime Maine business. 207's Don Kerrigan went to Orono to see what it does.
Gliding across the lake, or picking your way through rapids, or something in between. The paddle connects the hands to the water. And some of the very best paddles come from these hands, the craftsmen at Shaw and Tenney in Orono.
How good are these oars and paddles you're putting out?
We like to think that, they're as good as money can buy.
Sam Martinelli says it takes time to learn that touch.
You and the others who make these, that's a real skill.
Yeah, it's a lot of trial and error too. Figuring out what kind of pressure to put on the drum sanders and how fast to push them through, things like that.
Sam came here 21 years ago, a college student in outdoor recreation who needed a job, and stayed.
Had I not been in school for outdoor recreation, I might have been an art student somewhere.
Sam says he always had a knack for doing things like this.
Really working with my hands and making my hands do what my eyes say has always been relatively easy for me.
His fellow craftsmen, like Ethan, have that same skill, using a precise eye and practiced hands to bring form and life to the wood. In this river town, Shaw and Tenney's founders began making paddles more than 160 years ago. That long history now in the hands of Neil Gudekunst, who bought the business 3 years ago.
It was in Orono, yeah. Yep. Not in this building. We've been in this building. This is our new shop. We've been here since 1950. This is our third location. But a lot of the equipment was moved from the old location to here.
This is a big workshop, but a small business. Just 4 craftsmen plus Neil.
We make a couple thousand paddles, low thousands, and a couple hundred pairs of oars.
Using ash and spruce and sometimes other woods to make these tools that will embrace the water and do the work.
And clearly, each one of those requires a lot of care.
Yeah, each and every one from start to finish. So we have a very low tolerance for any sort of seconds.
That quality, he says, keeps customers loyal for years.
We had one last week come back where the guy knew it was Shaw and Tenney, but he had sanded off. He had sanded off all the old varnish and sanded off the old logo. And we could still see it, and the logo we saw, we knew was from pre-1980. And that's about as far as we could tell. So, that's pushing 40, 50 years now.
And because they have been making oars and paddles for so long, they began making masts for small sailboats. And that led to flagpoles.
So we are just about the last manufacturers of wooden flagpoles in the country.
They make about 24 a year, he says. This white one headed to Florida, and this one Sam is beginning to build for the new Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library in North Dakota.
So it'll be 4-sided.
It will be ready for the library dedication July 4th.
The good news is we have the market cornered. The bad news is it's a tiny market.
But flagpoles are one more way they have found to keep these makers working, to keep Maine-made quality in the market.
Yeah, you see something finished every day. You put varnish on something. There's nothing more special than that.
When they varnish those oars and paddles, the grips are not treated. The wood has been cut and carved and sanded to perfection, but will stay as bare and silky smooth as it came from the workbench. From the hands of the maker to the hands of the user, one perhaps feeling the skill and power from the other.
Shaw and Tenney has also traditionally supplied paddles to several Maine summer camps. The company says generations of owners have relied on the company to put paddles in the hands of campers who are then able to take the paddles home as souvenirs of a summer in Maine.
The company does have a small showroom at their shop in Orono, but most of their business is done through viewing the website. And like many Maine businesses, they're looking for some more skilled people to do that work. Coming